Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome back to another episode of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. This is the rise of Cornoe and we've discovered iron in the hills here next to the NATO border. We're actually just on the edge of it and just kind of digging it out from underneath them. It's kind of what I'd like to think we're doing over here. So we're obviously on a journey to a little bit more self-sufficiency is the word. Oh, wow. Self-sufficiency, but we won't be going fully self-sufficient. Things like, I don't think our area is really big enough. Well, maybe to grow crops as well. Maybe we could do a bit of a farming area over here to grow some crops eventually. But this area here might be big enough for it. But ultimately, we're a pretty compact nation with lots of water and things like that, which on the one hand is probably pretty good. So this is our new area over here where we have discovered iron and we are kind of digging into that now. We need to start the construction of this area. The last thing we need to do is just tie in our road network over here. I'm liking our shape and form over here. I think it's working quite well. And ultimately, we'll have a road network that comes down into this peninsula, I think, or probably crosses over somewhere over here so that we have a road network that actually runs all the way from there into this border post here. Yeah, I think that's broadly speaking what we're trying to achieve through this connection. Okay, one thing that we have as a bit of an issue at the moment is this: we're not actively getting rid of the ash in a reasonable manner, right? So we're not managing waste in any kind of reasonable way. This one will be done shortly, then we can deconstruct that and start working on our vehicle manufacturing facility in this area. I think we've got enough rail connectivity here to make it work. We can bring something else in here off of our service line, which is good. I think all in all, we'll make that work. We are a little bit constrained with this one, unfortunately. We're planning on my part. And I'm not sure we're going to be able to get that much better. Let's have a quick look at the impact of that on some of our areas. We are full up over here, so that means we're in a bit of trouble there. So we probably need to start exporting some of that yet again. It might be worth us doing that. And of course, at the same time, we're running into problems on this side also, which is running out, means all of this is stopping due to mixed waste, right? So we are running into a bit of a problem. So I might pause it there for a second while we quickly figure out how we're going to deal with this. If we go to the new area of Susselgrad over here, let's just have a look at what's going on in this area. I think we're actually running into a bit of problems on this side also. So I think what we'll do is we'll set up one train to just continuously run exports from over here. If we look at all related vehicles, are these? Yeah, these are just trains doing their thing, right? The Sith waste train. Let's just have a look. What is this guy doing? Transport type not specified vehicle. These are lines. No vehicles on this line. So we can just put a vehicle back onto this line, I think. I think that's the plan. Put a vehicle back on this line and it will go ahead and export. It's loading anything and unloading anything. Okay, so that's fine. Let's buy another train. We can't build our own trains just yet, so we'll buy another train over here. Okay, so give me an electric locomotive. Let's look at value. We don't want it to be slow, right? Okay, well, let's look at... No, let's look at speed, and let's just go from there. So 160 at 1,000,000. It's not bad. The class 350 and the class 150 seems to be pretty good options for us, right? That's too slow. The class 350 at 40k extra. Let's just grab the class 350. It's got a reasonable amount of engine power for freight. I mean, this one would be better. but it's much, much more expensive. So these are effectively your better freight ones. That's got up at the 6,000 kilowatts. This one is a little bit. Anyway, we're going to grab this guy. So we don't spend too much money. Okay, so we grab that guy. It's pretty pricey. Then we go to cargo wagons and we go and get the waste ones. Let's just see what we have in terms of waste. So we've got this waste one over here. And that one at 37. I think that's the one we're using. So we'll grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Do we know how long this is now? 87 meters. I think we can do another. And how much does that? That doesn't quite take a lot. Right? If we grab one more, that gives us 100 meters. That's a pretty good number. And 222 waste. Let's leave it there. I want to check the other train quickly and just see what its length is compared to this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Yeah. So this is the exact length that we would be using. So that's a good number that will fit into there. Yeah, we can't go any longer than that. That is as long as we can go. Okay. So let's assign it to that line. What color do we make it? I like some of those. We'll just do a red one like that. Set to the line. We will go. Ooh, which ones? No, that's not. Hang on. Grab here. Sith waste train. There's 2 stations and no. Excellent. That's the one. The Sith waste train is the one that we're doing. That's picking up there and then going to the large customs house. So let's make a start on that line. We'll keep a little bit of an eye on it just to see that is working. But we do need to make sure that we're actively monitoring our waste at the moment. So this guy is a bit of a problem. There's lots of waste happening, and we do need to make sure that we're continuously doing that. I'm also actively thinking that we should probably put a pollution monitor somewhere over here. Yeah, we can grab a pollution monitor. I wanted to pick up, be pretty central, right? I think this is probably a good spot for the pollution monitor. Right next to the train station, actually. This is pretty good. Let's zoom it in, and I'm thinking we'll just place it right over there. But I don't necessarily. Doesn't really matter. So let's do that. And what I'll do is, instead of getting the, I'll just do without the lampposts. Okay, so we'll get that moving. We can get whoever assigned to it. We can actually even get the helicopters to come in and build that. But a heating problem, yeah. So some of our kind of areas here, you would have known most of that. So some of these areas, we've got like fire stations over here with low temperature because we're not heating this area. But I guess we've kind of stuck with that. We're not too worried about this. This one is also okay. We should be okay here. Okay, all of that is working. I think this is actively, yeah, we're getting through that. This is obviously dissipating, but at such a slow pace, it's not actively working, really. We should have a train here now, busy loading up. Yeah, it's doing a reasonable job loading up. The vehicles are coming back in, so we have a pretty big backlog being managed at the moment. So I guess the one train here of exports might help us out just a tad. Wow, they're coming in thick and fast at the moment. Look at all of this stuff. Wow. It's painful to see how much waste we are producing and struggling to manage. Might have to, I don't think we need an extra train on that line. I think we just have a bit of a backlog. If we get this backlog out of the way, I'm hoping it'll be reasonable. But yeah, this train, and I wouldn't want to duplicate it. We're still actively putting everything on the train at the moment. Yeah, so it's effectively loading almost directly from these guys. Yeah, so these guys are unloading. Is that guy? Do they finish unloading? No, this is the problem. So they don't actively get everything out because they're unloading a bit slower than the train is loading very slowly. They can unload quicker than the train, and so they're not actively stopping that. Is this guy at least emptying? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so this guy should get out of our way now. Hopefully, it'll come back pretty quickly. I'm almost tempted to get another one on there just to make sure we're doing this. We can't afford a backlog such as this. I'm gonna buy another one. I didn't want to, but I'm just worried. We really can't. We can't afford it, and there's so much waste just hanging out in these things. We're not even making a dent in it at the moment. So that's really unfortunate. So give me another class 350, please. Electric locomotives with top speeds. We'll get another one of these guys. We'll get some more cargo wagons, please. Unfortunately, it's really challenging to make sure we're getting this done. 6 of them. It's a pretty pricey endeavor for us. Let's open this guy up. We will give it a nice the red color that we were talking about there. That one. We'll set it to line Sith waste train. And we'll make a start, just so that we can keep going. I can't afford that we run into that problem too consistently at the moment. Okay, everything else is kind of underway now. I think we can make a start on this. So let's grab these guys all the way over here in Cornoe, these guys, and we'll assign them to start the rail construction piece here. I just want to see, where am I going? Yeah, I'm going here. Okay, so let's make a start on them. Let's just see, where is they're coming in. They'll be coming in from, not there. So they'll be coming in from this side. Interesting. And they can switch over where? Actively, they can't switch over. So I think what I will do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to buy these guys, right? Just going to do this to make sure we can run from there. So let's close out this. I'm going to pay for those little sections there. That's fine. And what we'll do, let's just have a look at our at these guys. Okay, so they're coming in. Okay, there is no swapping over here, right? So what we may as well do is we may as well fix this to be proper. Okay, so they'll come in this way. Again, it'll just be single direction of travel. Right, that's okay. We could probably squeeze in an extra one in the middle there. Yeah. That's fine. We'll do that. We can get out on this side and we chain into that side. Similarly, we'll do the same thing over here. Do that. And we'll do this. And then on this side, we'll do a bit of this, and actually, what we'll do is we'll pop it on the other side. I hope we can. Yeah, we can. Ooh, this is mixed, right? These need to be mixed. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll get rid of those two. So they're effectively going to go in from here and then go and build it. So they'll be waiting on these sides here. Okay, we could probably add a few more in here, to be honest. So we'll do another one like that, another one like that, like that, like that. And then we'll do a chain here and something like that. Okay, so that should allow these guys to be building all of this stuff. Now, it will be pretty challenging considering we don't have any signals on here. So what I'll be doing is we'll be doing there and there so they don't mess up with one another too much. So we'll do some stuff like this, and I know, but I'd rather we have these things operate pretty seamlessly on this side. Ooh. We could, of course, do this. I think that's probably the easiest. And then we'll do something like that. We'll do something like this. Why is this guy? Oh, I need to... No, they shouldn't be connected to anything, right? They should be fine. Oh, over here is where they're actively connected to one another. We'll do something like that, and that should be fairly reasonable to get all of that built. We'll do some stuff on this side. We'll do some stuff over here. Do some stuff like that. We'll do something like this, and that should be, yeah, pretty reasonable altogether to get all of this stuff constructed. These guys, yeah, probably need some help over there as well. Okay, so that should hopefully make the entire thing fairly constructible. Okay, next step is for us to have a bit of a look at what we're going to do in terms of our access strategy over here. Now we have rail. I'm pretty confident that we can just do a normal rail crossing here. I think we'll want to run the rail over here while we run the road. Okay, so let's trim back these a little bit, not in terms of rail, but in terms of roads instead. So we'll trim these back just a tad. Something like that. We'll trim them back a bit. And I'm thinking we do a bit of a roundabout, maybe over here somewhere, so that we can actively provide an access point down into this area as well. Now, what I thought we'd do is we'll do a copy. Pick building and infrastructure tool, right? Can we? No, I don't want that. I want clone tool. Yeah, that's the one. Now, where do we have a pretty clean roundabout? Now, I do want these extra items here, right? So what I'm keen on, actually, I'm not sure that's the right way. I'm not sure that is the right way. I'm trying to get a little bit more consistency with these roundabouts, but I'm not sure that is the right way of doing it. One of our newer roundabouts, maybe? Don't know if we have any. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. I don't know if the cloning tool is the right tool for the job here. We've got lesser over here. So I guess this one. But anyway, I build these myself. So let's just do that. We'll build it ourselves. Forget about the cloning tool because I'm going to spend more time mucking about with the cloning tool than anything else. Now, the idea is this is pretty good. So shall we? Let's just do it with this. Okay, so let's do. We're not pausing, right? So what we want to do is we want it to be something like that. Then we'll give it a bit of this. I'm not sure that's... What are we doing? Total length? Ooh. There we go. Yeah, something like that I think is pretty good. Yeah, 90 meters. 90 meter one I think is pretty good. So what we'll do is then we'll trim back that one and we'll just close it out on this side. So that's kind of our roundabout there. I think that's a pretty reasonable size, to be honest with you. And what we want to do is we will try and remove some of these guys. Interesting. It doesn't want to do that. Okay. But what we'll do now is we'll basically feed these guys in. We do that. Yeah, I don't mind that. That's pretty good. And we'll do the same thing over here. That's maybe not quite what I'm after. That is a little bit better. If we... Oh, that's not what I'm wanting. Go back there. We should be able to clean that up. We can't clean that up. My goodness. Now we're in a bit of pain because it's going to want to... So let's do this. Let's do the F4. We'll stop the snapping and we'll just kind of start it off immediately the way we want. Okay, and then we'll do a bit of that. So we'll get a bit of a tie-in as we exit, just so that we're trying to clean that up a little bit nicer. Okay, that's okay. On the one side, that's fine. Now, on the other side, of course, well, let's start these off with a bit of a... We'll do that, and then we'll head off into this broad direction. And at the same time, we'll put the F4 back on so that we can get that nice spacing between our roads. And then on this side, we will try and do... Get me my F4 back. No. Switch it back off. I don't just want to... Okay, let's not do that. Let's try and get it a little closer. Maybe that? I think that's a bit too close, actually. I'd rather do this, right? Even with the little there. You do have deflection angles before you get to roundabout. So this side's too straight, to be honest. You do have this deflection angle to have people slow down in normal conditions. So that's probably okay. I'm gonna live with that. That's probably okay there. Now, what we want to do also is we want to tie in on this side, but using the kind of the... Okay, so let's... For the time being, what we'll do is we'll go ahead, do our upgrades here. We'll go ahead and do those upgrades and those upgrades there so that that's the right kind of road condition. Now, on this side is what we'll do here, and we want to go from the outside lane. So actually, to be honest, what we'll do first is we'll get our road and we'll start it at that 90-degree angle there. Right, and similarly, we'll do it on this side also, just because that's the better design of the roundabout. Now what we'll do is we'll try and tie it in. Yeah, that's nice, and we'll try and tie it in on that side. And similarly, we'll do this, and we'll do that. And I think I'm pretty comfortable with that setup there. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and do the active construction piece there. Now, what we can do is we can trim this one back a little bit, tie it in a little straighter into that one there, right? So that's pretty good. And then this one, I guess what we do is we just end it up like so. So you can have your tie out into that direction. So that gives us this point, and we should be able to run the rail quite comfortably into that direction over there. So what we'll do is we'll open that one up. That puts us on the ridge. This gives us the ability to track down into that direction as an extra road connection. And let's quickly extend the rail. So what I would want to do is I want to make sure our rail is actively running like so. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a nice smooth angle approach into that direction, and then like so. And I guess that is where we're at. So that does give us a at-grade rail connection through here, but I guess that we will have fairly limited traffic coming in through this side, I think. Whether we've got enough room to make any changes to this, potentially in the future put something in there, I don't know, but we'll keep an eye on it. Here is our crews already starting work. Let's just see who is working on this. Let's get number 1 on there. They should be done with all of this. So we do actively have these options now. Let's get our roundabout into play with the one-ways. So let's quickly do that. Get this moving. Okay, so we'll do that. These guys do need both those those areas to work. What is this? This is my gas station. Definitely want to work on that. We've got this road connection in here. So let's do that. Should we? No, which we'll do it there so they can go in from each side, give us a bit of extra room there. So let's actively get moving on this. Let's see if we can get the construction guys in there. There's no power in this area, so we'll have to have a little bit of a look to see how we power this area. Is there power? Oh, there is power. Beautiful. Okay, so we'll get that going. So that should help us out a little bit. Now, on this side of things, how is our pollution monitoring going? Pollution in this area is pretty good. We're actively seeing pollution over there, and we can see it come closer, but that is the entire town's worth of pollution being monitored there. That's fine, no problems. So these are underway. I haven't seen any action from any of these guys. So maybe they've stopped because I've done the signaling. So let's quickly go back in here. These guys are not doing any construction. But to be honest, maybe these guys on this side is the better option. So let's grab them and give them a little bit of work over here. So come ahead, come on and do your bit over here. Bring out the rail and come and work on that. Oh, look at this. Actively getting that moving straight away. So that's pretty good. Yeah, excellent. Our infrastructure is looking good, and these guys are building away like crazy, which I'm quite happy to see. Now, this will be a bit of a slow burn to get all of this done. Hopefully now we can start the deconstruction over here. We can. So let's go ahead and do the deconstruction. Oh, winter is on us. And what we would want to do is we want to assign the local construction office, please, to deconstruction office. I think that's a save going on. So Lesa is coming in to come and deconstruct that one so that we can then go ahead and plan our road stuffs, not our vehicles. Vehicle construction. It's happening over here. A slow burn, okay? A slow dissipation. Let's just see what's happening over here. We are, even with 2 trains doing this thing, this is a waste train, I guess. No, it's not. So where are my waste trains? Let's just have a quick look what's going on. Are they both? Is this a waste train coming back? It is. Okay, and we have a waste train, I'm guessing somewhere over here, currently dropping the waste. So interestingly, even with the 2 trains, we don't seem to be keeping pace with our requirements in this area. And if we go here, yeah, we're struggling, guys. We're really struggling to manage our waste, especially from these kind of heavy industrial processes. It's a big deal. Okay. We should continue some construction activities over here. What's going on this side? This is looking pretty good, to be honest. We're not building up any kind of reserve of oil, and I don't think there's anything left for us to be building in this area. Let's have a quick look. Our happiness is tapering off just a little bit, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. We did have some other areas of construction that we were building on, right? Where were those areas? Was it over here? Oh, it was this thing. This thing is built. We've got... Okay. This is electronics assembly. We've got waste being managed over here. Okay. So, we've got to bring in... What is this? This gives us how much electronics? 70 tons of electronics. This gives us... What do we need? We need mechanical components and plastics and electronic components. So let's limit some amounts here quickly. So we'll go 0. We need some of this stuff. I think 25. We need like maybe 40 of that and maybe 35 of the plastics, right? Something like that, I think, is it? We need some zeros and zeros here. 0 and 0. So if we do that, right, that gives us 35 tons, and 80 tons. And what is our ratios over here? Ooh, actually, plastic's way more. 35, and the other way around we need it. So we probably need this one at, say, 40 and that one at 35 maybe. How does that look? Even more so. Even more so. Let's go down to 25 over here. And when we go up to 50 on that one. I think that... Ooh, even more. That is interesting. So, go down to 20 here. 20, 15 maybe. Let's go down to 15. And we'll add an extra 10 on there. And that's about right. That is about right. I'm not going to mess around with that any more than that. That is about the ratio we need. So I'm comfortable with that. On this side, we're going to limit the amount, and it's just going to be... let's go with this guy. 100. And there we go. So that's going to be our electronics area. So let's just rename this as well as the electronics... Oops. What am I doing? Electronics. And this is Sith, right? Sith Electronics Warehouse. Okay. So we'll do that. That's fine. We need to start delivering some stuff over here. Do we have anything set up to deliver here? No, we do not. Okay. So what we're doing is from... over here, we should be able to pick up everything we need. So let's do that. This one is fully loaded. Yeah. So on this side, I think we can, right? What do we have here? We don't have plastic. So we have these two items, but we don't have plastics. The plastics will have to come in from elsewhere. So let's add this one over here. You're going to come in and bring for us... you're going to come here and unload for us this one and that one, please. Okay? And we want a fair bit. Yeah. Okay? So you're going to unload those items there, so they're going to come in here. We need someone who's at the border. I guess we've got some imports from the border over here somewhere. This is construction office. This is border imports. We're doing pretty much everything. So plastics is coming into other areas, so we may as well add another. We'll bring in plastics from the border so that we can make our own electronics. So here you're going to pop in, and we're going to say you're going to come in here, you're going to unload plastics for us, please. Again, pretty reasonable number of plastics, please. So something like that. So that should give us the ability to start work here. Do we have everything else we need? We do. So as soon, the reason for this was, I now remember, because we have high unemployment in this area. So now we should be able to start work. Once we get some stuff in here, we'll be able to start work on our very own electronics in this area. And then we will need to distribute these electronics to our various areas. So I think a distribution office here is also required. This is technical services. But presumably a bit of a distribution office here could be useful also. Now, if we want workers to walk somewhere, this is a pretty good spot for further worker facilities. So I guess we'll do the distribution office somewhere over here. Okay, so let's go ahead, grab ourselves a distribution office. I think over here is the right one. So it's only going to be for electronic components, so we don't need too much. I don't like the 4-vehicle variety, but this feels so big, right? This is 12 vehicles, this is 5 vehicles. Maybe one of these? And maybe we'll do it to a little bit to this side. Yeah, I think that's probably about right. Okay, we'll start work on that. Who can we get to come and build this? And we can also get these guys over there. Okay, good. Now, we should have finished off our fuel station over here. It is finished off. We are in the dying moments of still concluding this. So who can we get to come and support the construction activity over there. And similarly, this is working, but this is not, right? Who is... and we'll get Lessa in here as well. Come and build, guys. Come and build. We need all of this stuff to be built. What's happening with the rail? Rail is not moving. Why is that? Oh, it is. Oh, it is moving. It's just not continuing. Is that correct? Or what is the issue? No workers. It's a bit of a pain. What's going on? Oh, I might have had it paused while I did the distribution. So maybe that... Hang on. Let's just see what's going on over here. We're actively working on something, right? Are we... We have electronics. So there they go. So maybe I was just being a little bit... trying to get it done a little bit too quickly. So what's happening over here? We seem to be... we seem to be moving at least some of our ways through here now. So hopefully that is getting us there. Our deconstruction over here. I think we're pretty close to being done. Maybe 2 more. Yeah, last bits. Yeah, there we go. And done. Now we can deconstruct the next component here. Like that. And we can get the very same crew to quickly come and sort that out for us. Thank you. Excellent. Come and do your thing. Get this deconstructed. And then we'll start looking at what we can do. So we have a little bit more time in this episode. So let's have a quick look at what it is that we're going to start looking at when we get to advanced industries. Oh, we should do a bit of research actually. Before we do that, let's just pop over here and get some research moving. Aluminum oxide, airport infrastructure, nuclear fuel, wind power, gas power, synthetic fertilizers. Let's go with nuclear fuel because that's something we're definitely going to make a move on. Okay. Any other? We've got a medical university over here where we've got some vaccine development. So let's do that. And we don't want to increase or decrease the birth rate at the moment. So let's do some vaccine development over here. And if we look at this guy, we have some advertising campaigns. We've got OPEC membership and we've got power grid connection with Soviet countries. Ooh, I want to grab that because that will be useful for us. Okay, good. So we're doing a bit of research as well, which is something we rarely do these days. So we'll do a bit of research. Okay, now back to advanced industries over here. We are after engineering. Vehicle production line. Okay, so they're pretty sizable. We'll want water connectivity. We'll want got infrastructure in the way. There's a little path here, I think. Just see. So there's that there. So let's get rid of that. We're gonna need as much as we can. Yeah, there was a. There's something here. What is this? This is a switch. Okay, so we do need to give that a pathway once it's done. Okay, but seems to be a bit of room here. So let's just go back, have a look. What are we going to do with our vehicle production line? I guess this may be a better way of doing it. So if we squeeze it in over here, we will definitely have... accessible or walking, we'll be able to get the workers here. Right, we won't be on top of any of those things. So I guess this is a pretty good spot for it. Right, and we've got reasonable access to most of our things there. So let's do that. We'll pop it in there as a starting point. Now, a vehicle production line requires what to come in? Plastics, electronic components, mechanical components, and fabrics. So we need a pretty large warehouse, probably connected to rail. And then we need an open storage for the steel as well. So if we go and have a look at our storage facilities, we want a pretty large rail-connected warehouse. I think something like this might be good. Something like that might be good. Or alternatively, do we have any of these connected by rail? I mean, we don't have to. I mean, we could, you know what? We could we could obviously do this, right? We could have a large warehouse. Oh, that section is done. We could have a large warehouse, squeeze it in here, right? Yeah, and then we can just connect it to... Yeah, okay, so let's do that. Let's grab ourselves a large warehouse, multiple access points here. It looks like a pretty tight little connection there. We could even get some more workers in some of these areas. But if we did this on the one side, and then actually maybe this is not ideal here. I mean, we would be looking at bringing in... So let's do this instead, right? So instead of doing it nice and square like that, let's try and do... Oh, this won't work. This actively won't work. If we're going to do it in here, this won't work. Okay, so something like this is probably then about right. We can probably even get it in a little closer there. So let's just do that as a starting point. So we've got a warehouse in there. What we also need on this side is we need an open storage. So let's get ourselves a nice large open storage. This is where we're gonna have problems. But I would have. And we also need a vehicle storage. So I'm thinking space for vehicles large. Okay, what does that mean? How many vehicles can we store here? 100 meters in length. The other one is what? 141 vehicles in length. Okay, so something like that could be an option. But the problem with this, okay, so I think we need to rethink this one a little bit. If we're bringing rail in through here, right? We're going to do what's our happiness is continuing to drop, right? Okay, let's just, before we go back to this, let's just see if this stuff is actively underway now. We are missing out on plastics, so we still haven't seen any plastics. Are there any vehicles on the way here? Oh, on the way here, bringing in some plastics. Oh, we have electronics. So, okay, so our plastics is just coming in slowly. That's the thing, right? So if we have a look, we can't see any vehicles. We've got these guys assigned, but no vehicles on the way, it seems. And this thing is already built. I love it. I love it. Anyway, we'll set that up now. We just want to make sure we're getting a little bit more activity going on here. The plastics is a bit painful at the moment. So all of that stuff is in here. Electronics, very limited electronics. Very limited electronics. Electronic components. So where are my... So who's struggling? These guys are all... Okay, let's grab a couple more vehicles over here. Grab a couple more, see if that helps. And we'll quickly have a look at the imports. Maybe we do not have the vehicles that we want over here. So if we have a look at the vehicles... Yeah, we've got very few covered hulls. And... Is this refrigerator? It is. Okay. So... Let's get rid of some of these guys. The dumpers, we're barely using them. We really don't need as many of them. So, and we've got open hulls. Okay, yeah. Let's get rid of all of these dumpers. Okay, we'll move them out. Okay. And even that refrigerator there, we'll replace it with a new one. Okay, so let's do that. Get rid of all of these guys. So they're actively... Oh, they're standing here with iron in them, I think. So let's just... that's okay. I'll put in a couple of new dumpers at least, but I don't think we need a lot. So let's slowly start to move them here one by one. They're not actively moving, right? They're hanging around. So let's just get all of these guys out of the way so we can grab a few more of the other ones. I will replace a few dumpers just so that I think there might be a coal imports or something in there that's going to help us out in case of emergency situations, but we shouldn't be using too many of them. Okay, so there we go. So get that out of the way. We'll come in over here. We've got 2 refrigerator trucks already, so maybe we don't need that many. We'll want a dumper or 2. We want a pretty high capacity dumper. We'll grab 2 dumpers. What we'll also do is we'll get back and get a couple more covered hulls. 1, 2. Yeah, that should be okay, right? Let's do like that, right? That should be pretty good to manage our imports, and hopefully that means that all of these guys are going to move. Yeah. The need for these on imports seems to be much higher. Okay, good. So that is looking good there. Now, this is still dropping. What is the cause here? Unable to drink alcohol is not something I'm worried about. Lack of meat. Lack of meat is causing a little bit of issues, and then crime is also a bit of a challenge for us. A few people are unable to practice sports, and we may need to just at the end of this episode. Yeah, so let's continue our planning over here, and then at the end of the episode, we'll have a bit of a look at what we can do. Now, if we wanted to do rail, what are our options for? So what we can do, of course, is we can do a bit of a 4-track solution like this, right? So if we'll probably flip it around, right? So it does something like that, for instance. Okay, so we'll it actively needs to do something like this so that we're actively able to connect these things a little bit better. Something like that. Let's try it. Though actually, you know what? We might not need to do that. So let's do this as a starting point, right? So we've got to get a few trains to come in here. We will need to tie in. Yeah, the issue is. Okay, so let's have a look. So what we need is lots and lots of steel, right? So give me open warehouse, something like this. But maybe that's not this. We don't need that much, right? This one is pretty sizable. So I was thinking, yeah, that's not actually going to work. Can we go slightly smaller? Because if we were to do this, right, and got a little bit of a challenge on our hands with regards to where our road connection is going to go. So if we were to do this, right, we should be able to get our road connection to go there. So we could do something like that. That'll work. And then we can get a warehouse, maybe something smaller. We don't need as much now. We're doing a much smaller job here. Could we do that? There we go. So we could do something like this, right? That seems pretty logical, right? So what was the size of this guy? I think we might need a little bit bigger than that, to be honest. And then the size of this guy is 330 tons. And the size of this split across different things. Let's just have a quick look. If we look at the engineering side of things, I just want to see what's our ratios here. So yeah, we probably need a bit of a bigger warehouse. So let's do slightly larger in terms of warehouse. It might even be helpful to go slightly larger in terms of warehouse. Now I'm a little worried about what's going to happen over here on this side, but let's just do that. Yeah, we have almost no way of getting it better here. The only other thing we could do is run it in like this, get it off here, but it's going to be not a lot of room, and then pop it in there to get it out. I'm not sure I'm happy with that. So we'll continue with this, see if we can make that work. So the other thing that we're closing off, or let's just finish off the warehouse first. The warehouse, so we had 320, 560, 880. So let's try the 880 option. I think the 880 option should work. Right. There we go. I like it. I think this is better, actually. And then the final one we're looking for is the vehicle storage. So let's just do the largest possible vehicle storage we could do. Okay, we'll want to flip it around and do something. I thought we could do something like that. Maybe a slightly smaller vehicle storage is going to be fine. Small, large, large. This is a slightly different one. Let's flip it around. Yeah, that's the one. That is the one we're after, right? So if we do that, oh, we don't actually have to connect it, to be honest. But we will have to drive through there. So we will have to do, yeah, okay. So we can actually make this a little bit better here, right? Okay, let's do that. Actually, no. Let's get it to align. I think aligning it is going to be. I don't know. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. So we'll flip it around. Yeah, that's. So we want to get it pretty close like that. Right. That's okay. So let's do that. Okay, so that's okay. Oh, so the issue with this one, of course, is that we'll have to run. We won't be able to get a road connection out of this unless we. Yeah, this is going to be challenging. The way this is being built is going to be challenging. So let's quickly grab this guy. So let's do straight through there. Trim it back to say there, and then we should be able to make the turn and get it in there. Okay, good. Now let's see, can we actively get this connection? Oh, we can. I wouldn't mind. Okay, so let's try and, so how are we going to get this out? Ideally speaking, we'll just go into the one direction here, I think. Okay, so let's trim that back. So I'm okay with this one. This one seems to be reasonable. No. Go back again. So if we feed into here, I think that should be fine. And what I'll do is I'll feed into there. Alternatively, we could feed that one into there. Yeah, maybe that's reasonable. We could do this, right? But I think I want to keep it as clean as possible. So something like that could work. And then what we'll do is we'll do something like this. And we'll probably do... Yeah, to be honest, I'm not sure that is a viable option. So maybe the 2 trains on this side is good, and then on that side, yeah, that's fine. I think this may be okay. Just like this is gonna be fine. So what we'll do on this side, it'll be tight. It will be tight. It doesn't like us doing this. It just doesn't feel quite right. Look at that. Can I please not have that? Oh, jeez. Okay, well, cancel all of it. What? What's happened? What has happened? Ah, okay, fine. It was just a glitch. So we've kind of cleaned up all of that stuff now again. So let's try this again. So this is a little bit of a challenge for us. The question here would be, we don't need it on this side. do this. Yeah, let's do that. I think that's okay. We'll leave the one there. Should be able to actually find something that makes sense here. So that could actually work, right? Then we go straight across there. And what we'll do is we'll tie that guy in like this. On this side. Actively do that. And let's F4 it up here and we'll tie it in on that side. I like it. That's okay. We don't have this workable, do we? Okay, maybe we do have that workable. Okay, well let's leave it like that. So that will kind of be our vehicle production line with rail connectivity to be able to get everything in and out, and so on. Okay, good. So let's get all of this kind of concluded. I will, with regards to our rail connectivity, let's just go ahead and activate all of that. I think this should be fine. These guys are okay. They're part of whatever is going on in there. Is that gonna just see what's going on here? It may be an issue here, so let's quickly get a couple of yeah, it is an issue. Let's do that, so at least this could continue to operate. And similarly, let's do that, so at least that could continue to operate while we've got that in there. Okay, so this will at least gives us a little bit more to work on. Now, in terms of road connectivity, we would want some road connectivity over there. Is straight line connectivity through here and through here gives us a little bit more to work on. Ooh, I think, do we have, hang on. I think we've got something in here that's now unmaintainable. That is a bummer. That is a bummer. Yeah, didn't quite see that one coming. At the same time, what we'll do is we'll upgrade this. We'll activate all of those. And we will also want to do another road connection. Yeah, like this and down there. Yeah, it's going to look pretty square, but with some curves and things in there. So I'm pretty comfortable with it. And yeah, still on 84% happiness, so I'm not too fussed by it. So this one is all we need here. Right? Just get that one in place. Then that is working, and we also need a little bit over here. Now, do we have something for garbage? We do not, but I guess we've got a pretty good little spot here. The other thing I want to do is continue that one in there, or this side. Which side do we want to go? I mean, if we go this way, it might be more useful for other things as well. So let's just do that. We'll get that construction going. So we've got a little bit of room. We can pop something else in here if we need to. Other than that, I think this will be okay. I think, we'll pick up vehicles over there. Everything else will be unloaded over here. That's going to be just fine. Now, let's get construction crews out here to come and do the jobs. We want whoever is available to come and work, and we'll get a bunch of helicopter construction activity on the way also. So come and do as much of this stuff as you potentially can, so we can start to build our own vehicles at the same time. So what's happening here with construction? Are we... Yeah, construction is being assigned. So this will be a little bit longer to just get that done. What's happening with rail? Rail is moving. Slowly, but moving. All right. So that's okay. So as long as the rail is doing its thing, I'm quite comfortable with that. Okay, we're at the end of the episode. I'll spend just a minute to have a quick look at a few things that was not quite there yet. This is actively doing its thing. There is everything we need, but yeah, the volumes are a little smaller and electronics is popping in. So we can start looking at our distribution for this side. Now, if I were to have a quick look, just ever so briefly, we want to look at who is, is there anybody not getting food? There's a little bit of a blip here. There's a little bit of a blip here. I thought I built... Yeah, so there's food available in this area. We actually have meat here. Interesting. It's a bistro, but we do have meat here, so hopefully it's helping. We had a bit of a blip down here, which is looking a little bit better. This side's still a little challenging. Still 99s on a few of these, which should be probably hundreds. As long as I'm not seeing any 98s, I'm fairly comfortable. 98s and 97s is where you start running into problems. So it seems people are pretty comfortable here. Let's go over here. This is looking good. Everybody seems to be having what they need. And then if we pop into our new town, it's looking okay. Okay. So let's have a quick look at sports. So this is a little bit on the low side on some of them. Let's go through Sisselgrad. Yeah, reasonable. 95 is a bit on the low side, I think. Ooh. Even with this massive stadium here, this is not good. So here, people aren't too happy in this spot. And if we go into Cornoe, Cornoe should be pretty good because it's always been pretty good. So that's good. Everybody's got clothing. 89 is not good. 89 is not good. Above 90 is reasonable for the clothing side of things, but there's a few here that's dropping a little bit, which I don't quite like. So we'll have to just have a look, see whether we really have our distribution doing its thing. Yeah, it's really only Satomic that's struggling a little bit there. And if we quickly have a look at crime, a bit on the high side here, actually. 2% crime is not good. 2% crime is not where we want to be. There's plenty of them on the 2%, actually. All over. No, so maybe 2% isn't our... It shouldn't be our threshold. Maybe 3% is the threshold that we should be looking at. So all of that looking pretty good. If we have a look at health. Ooh. I think that's not good. Yeah. Health needs to be in the 90s. Health absolutely needs to be in the 90s. Let's have a look here. Okay, so health is a bit of a challenge here in Sisselgrad. Is that... Oh, these guys must be out of reach. Yeah, they're out of reach. So we need... Oh, I thought I built an extra clinic, which is here. Oh, no, this is a school. Did we build an extra clinic? Got a school here. Maybe we wanted to do an extra clinic and we still need to do it. Okay, something we can strive to in the next episode. But we're not in dire straits. Everything here is looking pretty reasonable. We're not in dire straits. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Lots of little bits and pieces underway over here. What's happening on this side? Are we actively sort? This is all full. Let's just get to have a look over here. This is empty. Okay, so we're winning the waste on war. The war on waste. We're winning the war on waste over here. There's still lots of little things we need to do, but we're currently starting our construction activities. So the planning of this will take us a little bit of time to go on, and in the next episode, we'll actively have it in the summer. Okay, good. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please hit that like button. I will see you next time when we continue building all of these great things for our nation and starting to do our very own vehicle manufacturing. That would be pretty exciting as well. Okay, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.